So you can see the slide clearly and you can read me loud and clear.
Yes, sir, we can see the slide.
Okay. Now, remember last time we had done warranties, etc. So this is for the April and May batch. During this week, we will complete your entire insurance service. This is where general average, particular average, York, Antwerp rules, its application, all that comes into play. I've got three lectures with you. Let's see. We should be able to finish this. I will hope to continue with another new topic tomorrow. When we talk about the losses in marine insurance, there are only two types of losses in marine insurance: total loss and partial loss. Partial loss is also referred to as average loss. That is where general average and particular average come. So sometimes uh, you can be asked the question, and what is the difference between total loss and partial loss? And what do you understand by partial loss? Don't get confused that we have done total loss, the types of total loss and types of average loss. So what is partial loss? It is the same thing. Now, first we will tackle total loss. Total loss is further subdivided into actual total loss and constructive total loss. Constructive total loss we have done partially as the first sub-principle of indemnity. Here we will do that in little detail. Let's take the case of actual total loss. When I emphasize the word focus, I mean deliberately to do so. The focus is on the loss of subject matter of insurance. It is physically disappeared. It is gone. It cannot be recovered at all. Like the sinking of the ship or in monsoons in the mountains in Uttarakhand and from Dehradun, we hear कि बहुत तेज नदी के बहाव में the car बह गई. Total loss. It is gone. When that happens, then the assured approaches the marine insurer to claim the full insured value, and the marine insurer pays the full insured value because he has paid the premium in the past. That is actual total loss. Focuses on loss of the subject matter of insurance. Unlike constructive total loss. Here, the focus is not on the loss. You can physically see the subject matter of insurance. So therefore, the focus is not on loss, but on expensive, extreme kind of damage to the subject matter of insurance in such a way कि to be the assured that damn subject matter of insurance is worthless, it is useless, किसी काम का नहीं है. तो जब ऐसी सिचुएशन है तो भाई I have paid a huge amount of premium, तो ठीक है, let me claim the full insured value, कुछ तो मिलेगा.
So, like the
Question is,
Express Pearl case.
see, absolutely correct. I just have to follow. Peter, can you update me? Last I heard that it has sunk to the seabed or only the stern has sunk to the seabed.
So
Is it
only
visible?
stern is still visible on the.
Then,
It is at
yes,
anchor and still visible, but completely burnt.
absolutely correct. 100% constructive total. 100%. It is worthless. I was too good. I'm so happy that we are always on the same track. Now, although we are done under the first sub principle of indemnity, we do it in detail because you'll have to write this. When a question comes on short note, a common thing, short notes on CTL, constructive total loss, you have to write the three specific circumstances when, example, not circumstances, example when a CTLFC can be declared. When the damage cannot be repaired at all. Example, a collision between a fully laden VLCC and a small ship. The small ship is so badly damaged it cannot be repaired at all. You don't have to, you must write there. The example number one. Now, just to let you know, how will the assured, that is the ship owner, will declare a constructive total loss to the the insurer that it cannot be repaired? Leave it in. Let's assume there are 3,000 dry docks in the world, entire world. And the ship owner has approached one by one all the 3,000 dry docks, given them the situation that my small ship is so badly damaged, etc., and all 3,000 of them have said, we cannot repair it. And then he will say, yeah, now it is worthless. So now he will approach the island investigation and it cannot be repaired. Or, right, or in the sector, or it can be repaired, but the cost of repair is more than the insured value of the subject matter of insurance. Insured value, insured value means it's a valued policy that the premium is based on the value which has been agreed upon between the island machine insurer and the ship owner, the assured. For example, out of the 3,000 dry dock, one dry dock says I can repair. That dry dock may be 5,000 miles away. So the hourly cost of contract of towage, dry dock, repairs, sea trials, surveys, etc., that cost is more than the insured value. Insured value may be $40 million. The whole thing is coming to be $45 million. तो कहेगा यार ये सब बगैर कमाई क्या है? Even if I get the whole thing, I have it repaired. Insurance will pay me only $40 million. I still have to spend $5 million for my pocket. Might as well declare it a complete loss, constructive total loss. Think what next? उतना तो पैसा आ जाए. Or when the subject matter of insurance ceases to be the subject matter of insurance. Very simple. A cargo of cement contaminated by water. वहाँ तो हल्के में घर बन जाएंगे. Why? Because the subject matter of insurance was cement. Now it has become concrete. It has become worthless to me. Then the assured declares a constructive total loss to claim the full insured value from the marine insurer for which he has paid the premium. But very, very, very important claim. The marine insurer is only liable to deposit the full insured value after the assured has handed over the damaged subject matter of insurance to the marine insurer. उससे पहले नहीं. As I said, under the principle of indemnity, the assured cannot make a single paisa profit on any kind of damage caused to the subject matter of insurance. वो marine insurer रद्दी में बेचे, that is his profit. Assured gets only what he has lost. As I always give the example, God forbid, car insurance there. If you want to make the full claim, they take away the car. Are we clear on constructive total loss?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's come to partial loss. Partial loss is also called as average loss. And like total loss is also divided or rather subdivided into actual total loss or constructive total loss, partial loss or average loss is also subdivided into general average loss, commonly known as general average, particular average loss, commonly known as particular average. Let's take it one by one, and I will take the case of ever given also that why there has been a general average, 100% general average case. Well, let's come to general average loss or general average. You know, I may have said, or rather I have said, that concept of marine insurance is, or as it was almost 300 years ago, concept of general average or GA or general average loss, not that old, but it is definitely more than 200 years. Let's go back 200 years away in the past. Wooden hull sailing ships. There was no gear in the port in the form of a crane to handle the cargo, and obviously there was nothing on the ship in the form of derrick to start handling the cargo. Meaning, the cargo was always packed in small packages like a sack, a small drum, or a card or a wooden box or something that it could be handled, loaded or discharged by two or three people, the coolies. So with that background, if out at sea the ship encountered an emergency, the only emergency those years was either fire or very, very, very bad weather. And if the master felt that if we jettison some cargo, jettison means deliberately throwing something into the water, into the sea. If we jettison, deliberately throw some part of the cargo into the sea, we might be able to save the ship. He would order his sailors to do so. And because the cargo was always stored, packed and stored in small packages, it was easy. By the middle of the night, also, ye uthao, pheko, uthao, pheko. You can't do that with big packages. The cargo was jettisoned. In those cases, the ship would be saved, continue on its passage to the destination. Now, the guy, the cargo owner whose cargo was thrown into the sea, was jettisoned into the sea, he would correctly approach the ship और ठीक है भाई, there was an emergency, तुमको जान बचा रहा था, सब कुछ बचा रहा था, भाई इसमें मेरी क्या गलती? You, with the ship owner, have a liability for safe carriage of my cargo. So because of the emergency, why should I, the cargo owner whose cargo has been jettisoned, should suffer? You please compensate me. Are you with me or not?
Yes, sir.
So the ship owner used to say, yes, boss, you are right in coming to me for compensation. I will do so. But he would tell the other cargo owner, guys, why should I be the one to pay this guy compensation? ठीक है, मेरी जिम्मेदारी तो सबके कार्गो की सेफ्टी पे है, but that guy's cargo had to be jettisoned. The point is, in jettisoning that guy's cargo, I have saved the ship, plus I also saved your cargo. So why should I only compensate? Should all of us not contribute proportionally to collect the money and give it to that guy who has suffered a loss because his cargo had to be jettisoned? तो खाली मैंने अपना जहाज थोड़ा बचाया, मैंने तुम्हारा भी कार्गो बचाया, तुम्हारा भी कार्गो सेफ एंड साउंड था, कुछ नहीं हुआ, तुम्हारा भी था, खाली उस बेचारे का कार्गो फेंकना पड़ा, वो वॉलंटरी एक्ट था वो. So they had to agree क्योंकि भाई उसमें तो कोई झूठ तो था नहीं भाई. Eventually the cargo was discharged, they made money. The cargo owner whose cargo remained on board. So because the loss, what was the loss? The cost of the cargo that had to be jettisoned. That was the loss. That was proportionally averaged out among whom? The ship owner plus the cargo owners whose cargo remained on board. It was proportionally averaged out the loss. It came to be known as general average loss or simply as general average. Are you with me again?
Yes, sir.
But now the question does, ये तो पुराने जमाने की बात है भाई, जब कार्गो इतना सा होता था. General average continues to be applied till today as recent as 21st March 20, or 23rd March 2021 ever given. वहां पे कौन सा कार्गो जेटिसन हुआ है? So why do we continue to have general average loss? That means there has to be some connecting factor. भैया पहली बात तो ये है, आजकल की तारीख में है when the cargo is loaded in all types of heavy weight, heavy shape, question of jettisoning is remote other than liquid cargo है. अगर तेल जेटिसन कर रहा है तो उससे पहले तो यार वो जहर पी के कल्याण जी आनंद जी कर लो तो इश्यूज विल बी ह्यूज. आप जस्ट जोके, emergency is emergency. Anyway, other than that, where is the question of jettison today? A very commonly general average loss is applied. That means there must be some connecting factor between the older days and present day shipping, and that right through the concept of general average loss is applied, where along with the ship owners, the cargo owners also make a proportional contribution. And that connecting factor, my dear friends, is common maritime adventure. Common maritime adventure includes three things: the ship, the cargo, and the intended passage. Whenever any of this existence survival gets disrupted, the common maritime adventure gets disrupted. It is 100% case of general average. Have it written here on your forehead. You will never make a mistake. पुराने जमाने में भी, if there was an emergency when the master had to take a decision, I need to jettison the cargo, that means in the present circumstances, the master cannot continue on the intended passage. तो जहाज डूबने वाला, till the time he gets rid of some cargo. So in those days also, the common maritime adventure had got disrupted because of the emergency, which resulted in the master's action of jettisoning part of the cargo, and that loss was proportionally taken care of by the cargo owner and the ship owner. It was a general average loss. उस जमाने में भी the common maritime adventure had got disrupted. So the same thing continues till modern day adventure. Now you understand the importance of difference between a voyage and a passage. Passage includes pilotage, water, canal, transit, everything. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So the bottom line for everything is, whether this is, of course, it is very straightforward answer. You will realize the way we discuss things, you're doing the binomial theorem of what what is A plus B whole square? What is general average? What is the difference between general average, particular? It's very straightforward. The question is, once you're clear with the discussion, what we're doing, never have an issue in answering any questions in your own, or practically on board the ship, what we're supposed to do as a mate tomorrow as a boss. So, whenever the common maritime adventure, and I'll be showing exact applicable to modern day shipping, which go in for declaration of general average. Why it is always said declaration? By कोई भी loss होता है, it is always the assured of who approaches the money ratio. I am declaring a loss or a damage. You please take care of it क्योंकि मैंने premium दिया. So it's a normal damage, normal loss, or it's a general average loss. That declaration comes from the assured. So whenever the common maritime adventure is disrupted, it is 100% case of general average. And any action thereafter. Thereafter means once the common maritime adventure has got disrupted, and any action to resume the common maritime adventure, to start the intended passage again. That is when you will resume the common maritime adventure. So any action to resume the common maritime adventure will be taken as general average action, and therefore all the costs associated with general average actions will be totaled. तो इतना कंट्रीब्यूशन ये कार्गो ओनर देगा, इतना कंट्रीब्यूशन ये कार्गो ओनर प्रपोर्शन, इतना तो शिप ओनर का है ही। So I just want to ask you one thing. अगर जनरल एवरेज लॉस डिक्लेयर हो जाता है तो सबसे ज्यादा फायदा इसमें किसका है?
शिप ओनर।
Excellent. Excellent answer, 10 on 10. तो मान लो अगर $100 का लॉस हुआ कार्गो का या उसके शिप का, कार्गो का है तो वो पीएनआई क्लब को आगे करेगा, अगले साल उसका कॉल बढ़ जाएगा। शिप पे हुआ है तो वो हालन वशीली से रिपेयर कराएगा, अगले साल प्रीमियम बढ़ जाएगा। अगर वो $100 कंट्रीब्यूशन से आ गया जिसपे उसकी जेब उसके प्रोपोर्शन केवल $30-40 लगा, बाकी $60 कंट्रीब्यूशन से आ गया, अगले साल प्रीमियम बढ़ेगा तो बहुत थोड़ा बढ़ेगा।
सर आई हैड वन क्वेश्चन हियर, सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट सर। जो भी जनरल एवरेज में पेमेंट करना होगा कंट्रीब्यूशन, वो शिप ओनर करेगा कि पीएनआई क्लब ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ शिप ओनर?
दो हलन बशीर भी इंश्योरर और बिहाफ ऑफ, वो मैं उस पे आ रहा हूँ, इट्स ऑलवेज द इंश्योरर।
ओके सर।
तो अगर हल्का सा क्रैच भी आता है ना शिप साइड पे, तो शिप ओनर से वी वांट जनरल एवरेज 95% को थप्पड़ पता भाग हो जाते हैं, ये कोई केस नहीं है जनरल एवरेज, क्योंकि हर कार्गो ओनर ऑब्जेक्ट करता है यार लेना एक ना लेना दो, बेगारी शादी में अब्दुल्ला दीवारा उस बेचारे का कार्गो ओनर का लॉस हुआ है, शिप ओनर टू टेक केयर ऑफ इट, हमको अब कंट्रीब्यूट करना पड़ेगा तभी भी ऑब्जेक्ट 95% ऑफ टाइम वो हो जाता है। बट आई कम टू दैट, यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट, शिप ओनर का सबसे ज्यादा फायदा है क्योंकि जो पैसा जिम्मेदारी उसके कंधे पे थी वो कंट्रीब्यूशन से निकाल लेगा। सो कमिंग बैक टू आवर डिस्कशन, examples of general average as it is applicable today. Fire in the hold. By the way, let's go back a little bit. Disruption of common maritime adventure leads to general average. Common maritime adventure includes these three things. That means on a ballast voyage or a ballast passage, they can never be as, when a ship is in ballast, they can never be a general average. Okay, cargo to hai. So in that cases, it is not called common, but it is just called maritime adventure. तो ठीक है, डैमेज हुआ तो हालर मशीन इंश्योरेंस पे करेगा, उसमें कौन सा कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन, करेक्ट? नाउ फायर इन द होल्ड, let's say it's a 5-hold ship, general cargo ship, number 2 hold, there's a fire, ठीक है, out at sea, I mean, I'm taking that case. From safety point of view, we immediately stop the ship. Whatever be necessary, we fight the fire. The fact that we have stopped the ship for safety point of view, safety of life, property, and the environment to fight the fire, the moment we stop the ship, that means in the present circumstances, with a blazing fire, we cannot continue the passage. The intended passage has been disrupted. That means the common maritime adventure is disrupted. 100% case of common disruption of common maritime adventure. 100% case of general average, where people will have to contribute. Whosoever the cargo owners, पहले टोटल लॉस निकालेंगे, भाई कार्गो कितना डैमेज हुआ, शिप कितना डैमेज हुआ, प्लेस ऑफ रिफ्यूज में कितना खर्चा हुआ फॉर डैमेज एक्सेट्रा, पूरा टोटल हो भैया ठीक है। इन लोगों का इंटरेस्ट पे हुआ, कितने कार्गो ओनर थे, तुम्हारा वैल्यू के कार्गो वैल्यू के प्रोपोर्शन इतना कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन। Ship owners contribution is always the maximum as compared to cargo owner because the value of his asset, that is the ship, is always more. So if you take the case of all these, fire in the engine room, bursting of boilers, collision, grounding in the case of Evergiven, common maritime adventure, disrupted, 100% case of general average. Are you with me till here?
Yes, sir.
Now, I will be doing that later on, but since one of you had just asked question ki contribution for the ship owner, he does it or the P&I club, I said no, marine insurance. But the Halal Machinery insurer, let's take the case of collision or grounding. How do you join the dots set for 2 plus 2? Last week we had done the Inchmari clause, negligence clause. If the ship owner has paid for by paying a higher premium, including the Inchmari clause, and within that, negligence, the collision or grounding happening because of the negligence of the master or officer of the watch, only then the hull and machinery insurer will pay. Otherwise, it says you have got, you have only included in the Inchmari clause negligence of the master and drunkenness of the master, but not negligence of the officer of the watch, and collision happened when the master was not on the bridge. Negligence of officer of the watch not covered, the entire contribution will have to be paid for by the ship owner. Again, importance of pure, proper logbook entries. Suppose you're going to become a senior management date tomorrow, master. Suppose an Inchmari clause. You do not know on the ship that Inchmari clause includes the negligence of the master or not. If the master, while maneuvering, comes on the ship and says, con with the master, or I'm taking the con will remain with the officer of the watch. Be very clear on that. And when the master says, con with me, the master, you're supposed to make an entry in the logbook. Everything on the ship has got an insurance implication. Number two, as per SPCW, even with the master physically present on the bridge, with the con, without the con, officer of the watch continues to be 100% responsible for his watch. All these things will be going into play when the hull and machinery insurer will be approached to make a contribution for on behalf of the ship owner for general average. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. So only if it is Inchmari clause has been signed, then only it will be covered. This negligence by the navigating officers.
Absolutely. Again, if the ship owner has only taken out insurance, basic insurance against perils of the sea, okay, he will not get anything, or he wants the general average, okay, he will have general average declared, but he will have to pay from his own pocket, no insurance. And
Yes.
when the insurance premiums run into lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of dollars, because the hull and machinery insurer will take the worst case scenario कि कल को ये जहाज है, इसकी इंश्योर्ड वैल्यू इतनी है, कल को ये जनरल एवरेज इंसिडेंट पे इन्वॉल्व होता है, तो वर्स्ट केस सिनारियो शिप के वैल्यू के प्रोपोर्शन में कितना कंट्रीब्यूशन हम लोग के कंधे पे पड़ेगा. वी चार्ज द प्रीमियम अकॉर्डिंगली. रिमेंबर, But initially, now I'll just, for example, initial on I had talked about, so in case of cargo insurance, free of particular average or all risk. If the cargo insurer goes to a cargo insurance company, why the premium of all risk covered कि भाई कल को अगर मेरे पे आप पे तुमको अगर कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन करना पड़ेगा तो आई वांट दिस free of particular free of general average होना चाहिए, but for some reason it is known as FPA, meaning if the ship that is carrying the cargo is involved in a general average incident where this particular cargo owner has to make a contribution, he'll have to make from his own pocket to that. Clear?
Yes.
So we have to be very, very clear. Again, I will repeat this. The focus when we are talking about understanding general average, because people focus on jettisoning. अरे यार jettisoning उस जमाने में था. That's how the concept started. We need to apply general average concept today. No? So that time also the connecting factor is the disruption of common maritime adventure, which include disrupt क्या होगा? By for whatever emergency, the intended passage will get disrupted. The moment that happens, common maritime adventure gets disrupted. Case for general average. Okay, fine. That means the contributions will have to be made. I'll be coming to that. That how, what are the costs involved? What is general average damage? What is general average cost? Everything covered. So before we come to that, and before we come to particular average loss, guys, can we take a break a little? I'm feeling a little heavy at first. How do you feel? And that you can see the slide.
Yes, sir.
Can you see the slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So just resuming from what we have discussed, the important thing is that before whether the owner, how much ever he may want for declaration of general average, the following three requirements have to be present side by side. They started as a requirement, but today they are known as the principles of general average, meaning that they have to exist, all three of them side by side in the given circumstances, in the given situation, for someone to hope that a general average can be declared. A common question related to this: what are the principles of general average? So let's take it one by one. Common and immediate danger. Common means the danger must be common to the entire common maritime adventure. That is, The ship owner, all the 100 odd cargo owners that may be, as was the case, we were given more than 1,000 cargo owners with their respective containers, the intended passage that the ship owners, ship management company had instructed the master to move on the shortest passage. The danger must be affecting the entire common maritime adventure, means affecting all the parties involved in that common maritime adventure. And the second part, it should be immediate, immediate, and it should be real, it should be visible. The danger. Danger, not any danger, danger that has disrupted the common maritime adventure. Just a second. It does not mean that there is a perceived danger, potential danger that is likely to take place in future. We are taking and avoiding actions. So it should also be taken as general average and low. For example, for example, like ever given, grounding of the ship is an immediate danger. You can see it. In that circumstances, you cannot proceed with the intended maritime passage. On the other hand, deviating for a TRS, and that case you will say the cost well, it can be the cost of additional fuel, which if it comes on ship owners, this like shoulders, okay, it should be proportionally contributed. But that is not general average loss because it's a perceived danger. You might be hit, you might not be hit if you're going close to it. You may suffer damage, you may not suffer damage, you may suffer a loss, you may not suffer a loss. It's a perceived danger, virtual danger, likely to be encountered in future. That will not be general average. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Number two, voluntary action. And always when you're writing the answer, if you write voluntary sacrifice, it will still be 10 or 10. But this is the correct way to write. Voluntary action bracket sacrifice. Why? Because the word sacrifice continues to be used today from the olden days. Like उस टाइम में जब जेटिसन करते थे कार को तो क्या कर रहे थे? Action क्या था? It was sacrificing somebody's interest, which resulted in proportional contribution, which does not happen. So when the common maritime adventure has got disrupted, any action should be voluntary in nature with the sole objective, with the only objective of resuming the common maritime adventure. Taking the clue from the olden days, voluntary sacrifice then means for the loss to be declared general average loss, and if the ship owner wanted contribution, the action to save the common maritime adventure was voluntary. He जब hat खोला, said, okay, 25 sacks to be thrown overboard. It was a voluntary action. Any 25 throw it, not that carrier. Those days, the masters knew the cargo. That cargo belongs to my friend. Keep that. That cargo belongs to an idiot. Throw it over the side. That was not voluntary sacrifice. Voluntary sacrifice should also be point number two. And any action as applicable, whether it was then or now, whether it was sacrifice then or action now, it should be neutral with only one objective, and that is resuming the common maritime adventure. Only then it will be taken as a voluntary action. Therefore, all the costs associated will be taken as general average cost, of which contribution will have to be made. And finally, when the common maritime adventure has been disrupted or the loss to be declared as a general average loss so that proportional contributions can be received, there has to be a success. Success in what? The common maritime adventure being resumed to its original destination. In the case of Ever Given, original destination Rotterdam, it will eventually resume. It is under arrest for inquiry, but not because of that it cannot. So number one, common and imminent danger. Number two, voluntary action plus sacrifice, success. When these three things are present, it is a pure case of general average law. They all started with three requirements for general average to be declared, but over centuries it has come to be known as principles of general average, the three principles of general average. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
That completes the whole concept of general average, the general average loss. Now we come to the second type of partial loss, the second type of average loss, and that is
सर
particular.
सर एवर गिवन के केस में सैक्रिफाइस कैसे हम डिनोट करेंगे जनरल एवरेज में
Action, voluntary action. Okay, bhai, the ship has run aground, the whole vessel bulbous now has gone inside. The common maritime adventure has got disrupted. पूरे 7 दिन तक दिन रात 24 घंटे लोग लगे रहे उसको निकालने के लिए. इट्स अ वॉलंटरी एक्शन.
ओके सर ओके
वही मैंने कहा ना कि इन मॉडर्न डे टेक इट ओनली एज वॉलंटरी एक्शन. मैंने इसके सैक्रिफाइस पे लिखा है कि उनका सर क्वेश्चन कि व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय वॉलंटरी सैक्रिफाइस. या आजकल के जमाने में कौन सा सैक्रिफाइस? सैक्रिफाइस वाज एप्लीकेबल व्हेन द कार्गो वाज बीइंग जेटिसन्ड. किसी का तो कार्गो आप सैक्रिफाइस कर रहे थे ना, करेक्ट?
यस सर
सो मॉडर्न डे में अगर सैक्रिफाइस से कंफ्यूजन हो है, फॉरगेट सैक्रिफाइस, put it as voluntary action. Now, the second type of average loss, second type of partial loss is particular average loss, or simply known as particular average. Common maritime adventure has got disrupted. It is a pure case of general average. Now, what is our objective? To resume the common maritime adventure. So any action that has to be done, it has to be voluntary, neither favoring someone nor against anyone involved in the common maritime adventure. Voluntary action. So the objective has to be met. There has to be success in resuming the common maritime. But if during the course of actions, any action, focus on what I've said, any action which does not contribute, right? हजारों एक्शन हो सकते हैं क्या? Any action which does not contribute towards resuming the common maritime adventure will have to be paid for by the particular party alone. मतलब कोई बहती गंगा में हाथ पैर धो जाए कि अरे ये भी घुसा दो, कंट्रीब्यूशन से मिल जाएगा ये. Therefore, that loss, that cost is known as particular average cost, yeah, particular average loss, or simply known as particular average. This will become all the more clear to you when I give examples. यहाँ पे एक particular average, the word average does not mean that यहाँ पे भी the loss and the cost is being averaged out in a different way. यहाँ पे the particular average में average word only means one thing. That any loss, any cost which is not part of contribution has to be separate, has to be taken care of by the particular party alone. Have you followed it?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, in the absence of general average, there can never be a particular average. मान लो जनरल एवरेज लॉस हो गया है, 10 actions हुए, 10 actions हुए, कोई से भी, to resume the common maritime advantage. 9 एक्शन ऐसे थे जिनके बिना the maritime adventure could not have been resumed. So they are all general average action. उनका total होगा proportional contribution होगा. तो action number 9 और 10 था, वो अगर हो तो ठीक, नहीं हो तो ठीक. That action number 10 did not contribute towards resuming the common maritime adventure. So therefore, that action number 10 will be taken as particular average loss or particular average. जो भी वो पार्टी होगी कार्गो ओनर will have to take care of it from his own pocket or his insurer, but that will not form part of the total for contributions. Simple language में ये. Let's take 3 examples. One is a hypothetical example. One is a real life. All the things will become very clear to you. And the third is a very common question in your oral, phase 2 oral. Let's take a hypothetical case. General cargo ship fully loaded. So even loaded नहीं है, balance पे तो general average ही नहीं. 5 hatches. She has run aground in way of hatch number 2. Big rupture, ingress of water. In hatch number 2. 2 tugs are called. The ship is refloated. The ship is taken to a nearby port, place of refuge, a port. Put alongside. She has to go to dry dock for repairs, or for that, number 2 hatch has to be empty. Other hatches full, no problem. Number 2, twin deck cargo is emptied, offloaded, put in the warehouse. Number 2, lower hold, undamaged cargo contaminated by water, that cargo completely removed. The ship is taken to dry dock, repairs, survey, back alongside to reload number 2, lower hold, undamaged cargo. Number 2, lower hold sealed. While reloading, listen carefully, while reloading, because of some lack of communication between the crane driver and the foreman or whatever duty officer, some part of the cargo, twin deck cargo, was reloading, some 5% cargo got done. The ship resumed the common maritime adventure. The simple question is, of course, this is a general average case. First question, in this whole scenario, is there a particular average loss in any of the action which will be taken care of by the particular party? If yes, which particular damage and cost is particular act? Think.
Sir, I didn't get this one.
Okay, I will repeat. I'll repeat the incident. Hypothetical incident. Beta. No, you're coming it very unclear. Anyway, let me repeat for the benefit. The hypothetical incident is a general cargo ship fully loaded and run aground. There is a bilging ingress of water by way of number 2 hold. Tugs are called. She's floated, towed to place of refuge. Number 2 tweed deck cargo. Number 2 lower hold cargo damaged and undamaged, offloaded. The ship dry dock for repairs. Comes alongside. Number 2 lower hold undamaged cargo is loaded. The twin deck seal. While reloading number 2 twin deck cargo, some part of cargo gets damaged because of lack of communication. That is the whole scenario. So the question is, so this is a general average case because the grounding disrupted the common maritime adventure. So in all of this action, till the time, from the time the ship was aground, till the time the ship resumed the common maritime adventure, was there any action which will be taken as particular average loss to be paid for by the particular party alone? Do you think so?
Sir, after loading, it becomes the case of particular average because common maritime has been resumed. The ship has been repaired.
No. That's a very good point. My mistake, I did not touch it. You are in the right traffic lane, 100%. I compliment to you. You know, I'll tell you, the common maritime adventure resumed when at the time of departure, RFA is given after dropping the pilot. Till that time, everything is general average, including departure pilot and everything. So, in this case, you said the entire reloading. No, not entire reloading. Only that 5% of tweet deck cargo which got damaged because of lack of communication between the freight driver and the foreman, it has got nothing to do with the general average loss.
Yes, sir, because it's not related to any means. So it does not
Exactly.
affect the
Matlab,
ship's
sir,
common
it is
adventure.
not correct. You're absolutely right. So this damage to the tweet deck cargo at the time of reloading, yeah, it is not stopping the ship. You know, communication problems है वो इसका जनरल एवरेज लॉस में क्या है वो बैटरी गंगा में हाथ धो दो कि अरे नहीं ये इसी इंसिडेंट का पार्ट है तो वी पुट इट टोटल तो एवरी एक्शन वो कॉस्ट ऑफ offloading the cargo, your port charges, dry dock, repairs, coming back alongside, reloading, departure pilot till RFA is given. Everything will be totaled as part of general average cost. Why? Because all the actions have been to resume the common maritime adventure, except the 5% damage at the time of reload. जो कार्गो ओनर है तो अपने इंश्योरेंस से कहो वो कहेगा कि नहीं जहाज की गलती है तो ठीक है लेट्स पीएनआई क्लब हैंडल इट बट इट इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ जनरल एवरेज इट इज पर्टिकुलर एवरेज आर वी क्लियर ऑन दिस
सर जस्ट वन थिंग जैसे आपने बताया ना एग्जांपल कि वो ग्राउंड हो गया वेसल तो उसके निकाल अफलोड कराने से लेके बर्थिंग से लेके वापस डिपार्चर तक इसमें जितना भी कॉस्ट का आएगा वो सारा वापस रिज्यूम कराने के लिए कॉमन मैरीटाइम एडवेंचर को तब तक का सारा कॉस्ट विल बी कमिंग अंडर जनरल एवरेज राइट
100%. मैं जब लास्ट लेक्चर में यॉर्क एंटवर्प रूल्स करूंगा तो उसमें बेटा विच इंक्लूड आई टेल यू on pro rata basis the wages of master officers and crew, the consumption of bunkers, freshwater provision, everything is totaled on a pro rata basis. It's a general average cost. Why? because it is a voluntary action. We all are working towards resuming the common maritime adventure. The rules say that.
Okay,
So
sir. Thank you.
आपका वो point वो बहुत बढ़िया था. Whoever said कि at the time of loading the maritime adventure as resumed, I mean, I really liked it because I had not yet covered. We are thinking in the right direction. At the time of departure, that cost is part of general average cost. Pilot disembarks, RFA given. That logbook entry is of paramount importance because till that time, when the bunkers, provision, fresh water, weight, everything is pro rata basis has been counted. Totaling होगी फिर डिस्कशन होगा कि ये हटाओ वो हटाओ होगा पर वहां तक तो genuinely it's a general average. Can I give another example now? The example which is a question in your phone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do it this way. Let me try and make it simpler by drawing. Can you see the slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Like we know that in the oral, the worst case scenario is the scenario given. The vessel is close to a reef or a small rock. Very, very heavy weather, strong beam, wind, strong beam, swell, engine fails. And it's a loaded ship, obviously. In order to prevent or reduce the drift, master decides to drop the port anchor. But the combined effect of wind and current is so strong that the anchor is lost and the ship runs aground on the reef. It is obviously a case of general average. Now, the question is this loss of anchor part of the total general average loss, or this is particular average loss?
Sir, it is loss of anchor is particular average because when the vessel is aground, that is the point where the general average starts. Then all the cost for refloating will be covered in a general average.
Well, your answer is absolutely correct. That once the vessel loses engine and it is drifted to an island, and which eventually runs aground, so it is a total Kalyani. It is actually 100% now a case of general average. Your answer also is correct that loss of anchor is particular average, but the reason is not correct. The reason is in the principle of general average. Success, did dropping the anchor lead to success of resuming the common maritime adventure? No. Well, then it is not part of general average. It has to be paid separately by the ship owner through his insurer. It will not go in the total cost of general average cost for which contribution has to be. Are we clear?
सर डाउट है सर सर इसमें जो केस है इसमें इंटेंडेड वॉइस तो नहीं है
नहीं,
तो
जहाज तो कहीं जा ही रहा था ना विद कार्गो एट दिस पॉइंट कार्गो को तो इंटेंडेड पैसेज तो बेटा हमेशा होगा ही।
ओके, चाहे एंकरेज में भी हो जाए ये सेम सिनेरियो।
बेटा मैंने क्या कहा था, पैसेज का मतलब क्या होता है? बर्थ टू बर्थ।
ओके सर।
It includes anchorage, it includes arrival pilotage, it includes departure pilotage, current, reporting point, TSS, everything.
ओके सर। सर मेरा डाउट ये था कि अगर इसको पेरिल्स ऑफ सी का अगर सिचुएशन बनाना है तो ये कैसे हम लोग डिस्क्राइब करेंगे अगर यही क्वेश्चन को पेरिल्स ऑफ द सी में बनाया जाए?
भाई पेरिल्स ऑफ द सी का क्वेश्चन को उस हिसाब से बना सकते हैं, क्योंकि जो मेरी जो नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में दिखाने जा रहा था कि as I've already said कि जो जनरल एवरेज का कंट्रीब्यूशन होता है वो हमेशा मरीन इंश्योरर देता है। उसी हिसाब से वो पहले से ही वर्स्ट के सिनेरियो लेकर के प्रीमियम चार्ज करता है। अगर नहीं हुआ कंट्रीब्यूशन जनरल एवरेज के लिए तो वो उसका डबल प्रॉफिट होता है। दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ इंश्योरेंस बिजनेस। तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि हलन और बिहाफ ऑफ शिप ओनर इट इज द हलन मशीनरी इंश्योरर who will make a contribution. So perils of the sea वो वहां से आएगा। It depends कि भाई जो अश्योर द शिप ओनर ने किस लेवल का मरीन इंश्योरेंस अपने शिप के लिए खरीदा है। ओनली अगेंस्ट पेरिल्स ऑफ द सी है, ओनली अगेंस्ट पेरिल्स ऑफ द सी है, बेसिक एंड नो इंच बारी क्लॉज, नो मैन मेड क्लॉज। तो तब जनरल एवरेज अगर होगा ही, it will all have to be paid for by the ship owner. क्यों? Because इस केस में ले लो, जहाज यहाँ पे पहुंचा कैसे? क्योंकि यहाँ पे इंजन फेल हो गया। इंजन फेलियर इज नेवर अ पेरिल ऑफ द सी। वो तो इंचमारी से ही शुरू हुआ था। इट इज फेल बिकॉज लैक ऑफ मेंटेनेंस एंड लैक ऑफ स्पेयर पार्ट्स, कुछ भी, इट्स अ बैड मेड कॉज। तो अगर ये पेरिल्स ऑफ द सी का खाली वो बेसिक प्रीमियम दे करके इंश्योरेंस खरीदा है, जनरल एवरेज है, तो इंश्योरेंस कहेगा टाटा बाय बाय, यू टेक केयर ऑफ इट, डोंट इवन लुक एट माय डायरेक्शन। तो पेरिल ऑफ द सी वहीं तक लिमिटेड होगा।
ओके सर।
So if case where the question is loss of anchor general average or particular average, sir, it is particular average. Why? As per the principle of general average, the dropping of anchor did not lead to success of resuming the power maritime adventure. The situation became worse. जनरल एवरेज जब ये आपका ये यहाँ पे जब आपका इंजन फेल हुआ तो इस पॉइंट से इस पॉइंट ऑनवर्ड से जितना भी कॉस्ट है टोटलिंग शुरू हो जाएगी क्योंकि कॉमन मैरीटाइम एडवेंचर यहाँ पे डिसरप्ट हुआ था। हर इंजन फेलियर डज नॉट लीड टू जनरल एवरेज। हम लोग एनयूसी सिग्नल लगा करके डीप वाटर्स में ड्रिफ्ट करते रहते हैं, टीपीजे के पीछे पड़े रहते हैं, भाई जल्दी से जल्दी करो रिपेयर तो हो ही जाता है ना। Because
Yes,
the
sir.
drift was so strong, master took a nice action. Okay, let me drop the anchor to try and hold the drift to buy me time. पर वो anchor ही टूट गया तो ये तो पूरा ही चढ़ गया उसके ऊपर। तो whatever देखिए option was there for the repairs, it was completely lost, resulting in 100% disruption of common maritime adventure. And this action of dropping of anchor was not successful. Therefore, it did not contribute towards resuming the common maritime adventure. Sorry, Mr. Shipowner, the cost of new anchor either it come from your pocket or you'll have to tell your hull and machinery insurer to pay for it. Next year, you will increase your premium. Have you understood the concept of general average and particular average?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And don't worry about your exam. It is too straightforward. Differentiate between general average, particular average. Different. What is this? What is that? It is very straightforward and simple. और जो मैंने explain किया अभी, I will show you my thing between either today or tomorrow. एक 32 पेज का मेरे अपने words. Most of it is mine, तो वो तो 100% और few topics. उसमें पूरा insurance, general average, सब उसमें सब दिया हुआ है. So not to worry about that. So always remember, it is always the ship owner who declares the general average, क्योंकि मैं सबसे ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट हूँ. और ये कहाँ पे होता है? I'll also tell you that. So in case of ship owner, better just to correct you, it is not the PRI cup. Ship owner means hull and machinery insurer, cargo owner means cargo insurer, matter end. Now there is another, before we go to York Antwerp rules in the last lecture, there is a person called an average adjuster. Common question, write short notes on average adjuster. Who's an average adjuster? Straightforward. There is an institute of average adjusters and basically, average adjuster is the most highly paid maritime lawyer because to be able to get involved in settlement of general average. Settlement of general average means who will pay how much. It's a very, very fearsome task. So he or she is a maritime lawyer with focus on handling only general average cases, so he becomes an average adjuster. And the point is, let's say ever given the word, the ship owner will look for an average adjuster. It is the ship owner who hires an average adjuster, and it is the ship owner who pays the huge amount of average adjuster's fees. Point number one. Number two, it is always the average adjuster who, matter of 3-4 weeks after the incident, give me a moment. The average adjuster presents the ship owner's case for declaration of general average at this institute in London. What is this institute? It has retired admiralty, meaning maritime law judges who have all their lives of 30-40 years experience handled maritime and admiralty cases, marine insurance, general average cases. They've got lots of experience. They're retired. And their word is taken as, okay, we will follow. But who are the parties involved in a general average incident or a not? Ship owner and all the cargo. Simple है. तीसरा तो कोई है ही. भाई इंश्योरर तो बाद में आते हैं ना कि मैं तुम्हारे ब्याह पे मैं पैसा दे दूंगा, अगले साल प्रीमियम करूंगा, पर पार्टीज इन्वॉल्व तो दो ही लोग. So when average adjuster presents the ship owner's case for declaration of general average at the Institute of Average Adjusters in London, the cargo owners hire lawyers to represent them individually or collectively to object to declaration of general average. This happens in every declaration. तो मैंने कहा ना 95% of the time, because सबसे ज़्यादा फायदा ship owner का होता है, 95% of the time his case is declined. This is not general average at the institute by the retired judges. Why that happens? Because the lawyers of the cargo owners are very smart. They object to declaration of general average. That arguments are listened over a 2-3 week period time. At the end of that, those retired panel of retired judges, they make the declaration that whether this is a case of general average, genuine case, all the three principles were applicable, etc. No cheating being done on part of the ship owner, etc. No fine of anyone. So that decision is declared within 3 to 4 weeks. Yes, this is a case of general. Actual settlement sometimes can take up to 2 years. Who will pay how much? But that does not make a difference, because once this decision is taken, this is general average. Okay, the ship will be repaired, paid for by the insurer, insurer, any cargo damage paid for by the P&I club. हाँ भाई, general average अब declare हो गया है. आज नहीं, in the coming months or coming year, next year, we will get the money from the cargo interest. So extra hull and machinery insurer ने spend किया होगा, he will get it. जो cargo के लिए P&I ने किया होगा, वो they will get it. They all do it. The ship owner actually opens a bottle of champagne if it is declared it 2 to 4 weeks that this is a case of general average. Now I am relaxed. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
I just want to take a 10-minute break. It's very strenuous for me. Next, I want to start on the York Antwerp rules. With that, between now and the last lecture, we will finish the entire insurance part of it. So I'll just join you in 10 minutes or so, and then we will resume.
Okay.
fair. Right. Guys, how do you read?
Yes, loud and clear.
But I see that we will break for lunch, putting on the dot for half an hour earlier. And I will see you at 15:45, and I will be completing the entire thing on marine insurance. And the last part, I just want to show you that, which is the York Antwerp route. Can we break for lunch? I'm not feeling up to it to be able to do full justice to this. Is it all right with all of you?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this is the only part of the whole thing about not only general average but marine insurance that is valid. We will be completing it today. That's why. But don't log out before 13:45 for your lunch.